AI voice generators have become insanely popular within the last couple of years, with thousands of channels gaining millions of views without ever speaking a word. It really shows the power of AI voice generators and why you, yourself, should be using AI to save endless hours of recording audio. Now, there's plenty of new AI voice generators coming out to the public, and with hours of testing ranging from quality, efficiency, and pricing, there's one that still remains at the top. And that's none other than ElevenLabs. With so many features to showcase, we'll be looking at the main features that I believe stand out the most. And towards the end of the video, I'll also share some bonus settings which you can apply to your voiceover, which will allow you to work less and create quality voiceovers without ever saying a word. We'll start on the dashboard. If you wanted to follow along with me, I'll leave a link in the description box down below, which you can use to sign up and also get some free generation to try here on ElevenLabs. So before we start our text-to-speech, we want to go ahead and choose a voice. So if we go to the left here and click on voices, you'll have a display of voices that are already preset to your account. Now, if there are none here, what you can do is click the library option, and then you can go through the many options that are available and choose the best one that suits your needs. For example, if I was looking for a calm voice, what I can do is in the search bar here, type in calm and then click enter. And then it will give me a bunch of different voices that are considered calm. We can also click on trending and sort by different options, so we can go through the latest voices, most users, and the most characters generated. You can also choose between the languages, so I'll choose English for this video, and the accent for that language. For example, if I wanted an American English accent, I can choose this, an Australian, British, and the list goes on and on. If you wanted to preview a voice, simply hover over the voice you're interested in and click the little play button.
After all, the most important quality of speech is that it is clear and understandable.
And there we go, that is the Oxley voice, which has a little description under it which says it is perfect for storytelling. Now let's have a look at Brittany, which is considered to be good for a female villain.
Do my eyes deceive me? Someone is finally trying to play the hero.
There we go, that sounds like a great female villain. If we wanted to add any of these to our voices, what we can do is simply click the add button here, and it'll add it to your voices. You can also click the view option here, which will give you a better description of your voice, along with other similar voices that you can also choose to add. Once you've added your voices, you should be able to view them in your voices area. And now we can move on to text to speech. So if we go to the left here and go under playground and click text to speech, we're taken to the generation area. Now there's a lot to go through in this little section here, but before we look at that, we can go ahead and go under voice and select a voice that we want to use. For example, I'm going to choose this John voice here, and then I'll go ahead and paste in a prompt that I've created. Now John is a war veteran. Let's see what he has to say.
I sit by the fire, scars etched on my face, my eyes reflecting battles long past.
And there we go. As you can see, that sounds very, very nice. It is perfect for the prompt that I have put in, and you can use this for all types of storytelling. So now let's try another one. So now we have David, who is a news reporter.
Reporting live from the scene, I can see the devastation. Families displaced and a community fighting to rebuild.
Which sounds absolutely phenomenal for a newsreader. And last but not least, let's have a look at Brittany, who's a yoga instructor.
As we move into a gentle forward fold, I want you to breathe deeply. Feel the stretch through your spine.
And there we go, there's 3 good examples for 3 different types of prompts. The whole point to that was to show that you can really use any of these AI voices for all types of different content. Now let's say you wanted to create your very own AI voice. What you can do is go to the left side again, and under voices click the little plus button. Then you can click on voice design, and in the voice design area you can actually create your own AI voice. For example, here I have a random prompt which is a deep gravelly New York accent, tough and world weary, often cynical. And then we have a basic text preview here. Of course, you can change this prompt to whatever you would like. You can be very specific as well. Once you are happy, you can then click on generate voice. And then it generates 3 options for you to choose between. So we'll go ahead and check out voice 1.
I've been walking these streets longer than you can imagine, kid. There's nothing you can say or do that'll surprise me anymore.
That sounded good. Now let's have a look at voice 2.
I've been walking these streets longer than you can imagine, kid. There's nothing you can say or do that'll surprise me anymore.
And then finally, the voice 3.
I've been walking these streets longer than you can imagine, kid. There's nothing you can say or do that'll surprise me anymore.
Great, so now all 3 sound pretty good. However, I am a big fan of the voice 1. So if you were happy with how the voice sounded, you can choose the voice that you like. and then click on select voice, and then you can give your new voice a name. So I'll call it New York Man, and then you can give it a label. So for this instant here, it's language. I'll then choose the value here, which is English. I can also add a label here, so the accent as well. I'll choose American, and then you can give it a description. So I'll keep it as this one here, but of course you can change that to your liking. And then you can save this as a voice and use it for your future text-to-speech generations. Next, we can look at one of my favorite features that I love here on ElevenLabs, which is cloning your actual voice. So again, if we go to the left and click the plus button again, we can choose to clone our voice. So we have two options displayed here. One is the instant voice clone and the other is the professional voice clone. So these are pretty self-explanatory. If you wanted an instant voice in a short period of time with very limited audio, you can choose this option. However, if you wanted a very realistic version of your voice, I'll definitely choose professional voice clone. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and create both of these. I'll show you how to create an instant voice clone. Once here, you then need to go ahead and either record the audio directly on the website, or you can drag and drop a clip that you already have. I do have an audio example, so what I'll do is simply drop it here. Then I can tick whether I'd like to remove the background noise or not. Of course, you'd probably like to tick that, and then click on next. Then you want to give your voice clone a name, so I'll put in my name, which is Jack, and then you can fill out the rest of the information, confirm that you give consent to ElevenLabs to use your voice, and then you can save this as a voice. And then if you wanted to create a professional voice clone, what we can do is click this option here. And of course, because it is a professional voice clone, this does require a lot more than just a 1-minute audio clip. There's a bunch of instructions which you'll need to follow in order to have the best quality AI clone. Once you have read all this, you can then consent and then go ahead and click start. And then you can fill out the rest of the remaining information. Do keep in mind you'll definitely need more than 30 minutes of audio, ideally audio that is clean and recorded with a good microphone. They recommend 3 hours of audio is optimal, and of course you can only clone your own voice. You can't clone other people's voices without their permission. So what I'll do is I'll now compare the instant voice cloning versus the professional voice cloning. So we'll start off with the instant voice cloning, which only took 1 minute. So I'll go ahead and click the Jack 2, and this is what it's generated with 1 minute of audio.
Welcome to my video. This voice was created with a simple prompt.
And there we go. Now it sounds pretty similar to me. Of course, it doesn't have the authentic Australian accent. However, it does sound pretty good considering it is only a 1-minute clip. Now let's compare it to the professional voice clone, which took around 3 hours worth of audio. Welcome to my video. This voice was created with a simple prompt. And there we go. As you can see, the difference between the two is quite literally day and night. Again, the more clean audio you have, the better your professional clone is going to sound. So definitely take some time when it comes to creating your professional clone, because you can really get a good sounding replica of yourself. So as I promised at the start of the video, I'll now show you the best settings to use for any AI voice. Now I highly suggest using these settings as a good starting point. However, if you wanted to adjust them better to your liking, I'll definitely recommend doing so. So we'll start off with speed. I like to keep this at 0.95. And for stability, I'd like to keep that at 50%. Similarity, I like to keep at 75%. And the exaggeration I actually like to put at 45%. I've noticed anything over 50% seems to really exaggerate it too much, and I find that 40 to 45% is definitely the sweet spot when it comes to this option. So now I'll show you the difference between the default settings and the settings that I've given you. So we'll start off with the default settings. This is what it sounds like.
Hey, hopefully you're enjoying the video so far. Make sure to stick around to find the best settings for voice generation.
So that does sound alright, however there are some imperfections in between the voiceover. So again, if we apply the settings that I displayed before, which again is 0.95, 50%, 75% and 45%, this is what it sounds like compared to the default settings. To generate that.
Hey, hopefully you're enjoying the video so far. Make sure to stick around to find the best settings for voice generation.
There we go, that sounds a lot more better than the original default. It sounds a lot more stable and it feels like it fits the prompt a lot more better. So if you wanted to step up your voiceover quality, I'll definitely recommend going with a plan with ElevenLabs. Now personally, I've been using the creator plan for well over a year now and I have zero regrets doing so. You get 2 hours worth of audio per month, along with my favorite feature, which is the professional voice cloning option, which again is absolutely insane considering that you can create such a high quality replica of your voice. This does come at $22 per month. However, if you do go with the annual option, you do get 2 months free and it is only $18.33 per month. With that being said, the starter option is also a great option that you can choose. However, you do not get the professional voice cloning feature. You do only get the default clone option, which only allows you to clone 1 minute of your voice. However, still gives you up to 30 minutes worth of audio and is still a great plan to go with. Again, you can click the first link in the description, which will allow you to actually have some free generation here on ElevenLabs to really make sure that you like this AI voice generator. So if you're ready to take your content to the next level with realistic AI voiceovers, give ElevenLabs a try. Trust me, it's a game changer and you won't regret it.